Hello, it's me. I just decided that I was going to do a quick little video. I mean, I hope it's going to be quick. I say that as I start recording. But I just wanted to do a quick little video because just at time of recording yesterday, we had the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 4 trailer. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me to do videos about the other waves, but here we are. And it would just be nice for me to make a Mario Kart video that isn't redundant after 2 days. So, I just wanted to kind of go through the courses, just kind of give my brief thoughts about it, and then also I wanted to talk a little bit about my predictions for the last 2 waves, because I have some ideas that I think are interesting. Whether you'll find them interesting is another matter, but I find them interesting. So we start off the Booster Course Pass with Amsterdam Drift. Amsterdam Drift is, I think, the only tour course that I haven't played. I have a very on and off relationship with tour, and so I haven't actually played Amsterdam Drift, I don't believe. If I did, it didn't exactly leave much of an impression, I'm gonna be honest. So Amsterdam Drift, I'm not particularly interested in. It's definitely the low point in this wave for me. Good thing it's the first one, I'd say. But I'm not particularly interested in this. I'm very hit or miss with the tour courses, and mostly miss if I'm honest. I really like Paris Promenade, mainly because of the fact that the way it handles its different laps is much more different to all of the other tour courses. I don't like all of the laps being different with tour courses. It makes it harder to get used to these courses. But not just that, I also think that Paris Promenade is probably the most visually distinct one that we've had so far. It feels very pastel-y, I guess, pastel colours, and I don't know, it's just got kind of that look. I quite like it. It's very, very pleasant. Whereas Berlin and London and now Amsterdam, they have their own visual, distinctions, but they all feel very similar to me. Same with Tokyo, and New York Minute is, I mean, it's at night time, so that kind of makes it a bit more distinct, but I mean, I think everyone kind of agrees that New York Minute is a bit of a low point. And then after Amsterdam Drift, we have good old Riverside Park. Now, I am not going to say that I don't like the look of Riverside Park. I mean, just adding the Patuis is amazing in itself. So Riverside Park looks fantastic. Visually, it is on par with the base game. I will admit that I don't really care about the visuals so much. I actually quite like the more cartoony aesthetic that they've been going with a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, Riverside Park looks pretty fantastic. My only thing about Riverside Park being added is the fact that I kind of wanted Lakeside Park instead, and it's mainly just the music. The music of Lakeside Park is so good. And Riverside Park, I do like the fact that Riverside Park and Lakeside Park have different music. That's just a really cool thing to me. But if I were choosing, I would go for Lakeside Park. And frankly, we already know what the remaining GBA course is. So this was the one that was up in the air. And the fact that we haven't got a GBA Bowser Castle is also kind of sad to me. So just in general, it feels like, losses all round in a way, but then you look at Riverside Park and it kind of just makes up for it. It looks pretty great, and I'm really looking forward to actually playing it. In 8, obviously, I've played it in Tour, but I'm really looking forward to playing it in 8. Next is DK Snowboard Cross, which I've always loved. Snowboard Cross, DK Summit to you gosh darn Americans. I'm going to call it Snowboard Cross because I like that name better. But DK Snowboard Cross, yeah, it's everyone likes DK Snowboard Cross. Well, I mean, I'm assuming everyone likes DK Snowboard Cross, and there's a good reason for it. It's a really great, really fun course. And yeah, I'm really glad it's coming back. I mean, we've known it was coming back for a while, but I'm glad to have it confirmed and coming, well, within a week. And then there's Yoshi's Island, which looks pretty pretty flipping good, I have to say. I haven't completed the original Yoshi's Island, but I do really like it, and seeing, you know, all of this stuff, you know, this Yoshi's Island stuff in it, it looks so. It looks like a real love letter to that game. Not even the series, just that game, just the whole look of it. It could not be more visually reminiscent of Yoshi's Island unless it was actually in the literal hand-drawn style, which would be just an insane. That would be insane if they did that. But this is still not to be you know, turned down. This is a great looking course, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's the Fruit Cup. Then we have the Boomerang Cup, and overall I feel like the Boomerang Cup is pretty strong, honestly. Bangkok Rush. Now, I have played Bangkok Rush, and I wouldn't say it's my favourite city course, but it is. I mean, it's very visually distinct. It's got plenty of different terrain, and just different. It's a great course. I think that the further that they have gone with the Tour city courses, the more they have really smashed them out of the park. Bangkok is absolutely one of those that they have really done well with. Then we have DS Mario Circuit, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not even that I'm happy that DS Mario Circuit is coming, but it's the fact that I actually did predict DS Mario Circuit, and I was insistent that we were getting DS Mario Circuit, and look what we got, and everyone thought I was an idiot, but here we are. So other than that, I mean, I am always interested actually in seeing the more standard, you know, circuit courses being added. I'll get into this a little bit more towards the end of this video, but I like a bit of normal. One of the things I didn't like about 8 was that even though we did have our standard circuit courses, they had the anti-gravity, which meant that they didn't feel very standard. They didn't feel like there was anything that was just, you know, just normal. You sometimes you just want that as a palate cleanser, and we didn't have that, not until we got Toad Circuit, and now DS Mario Circuit. Then we have Waluigi Stadium, which, I mean, I've played plenty of Mario Kart Wii, and Waluigi Stadium is a great course. And it looks like they have really gone hard with this. They've really tried to. I mean, even just in the image that they've shown of it, just the dirt on the Piranha Plant, they have really tried to make this look as visually appealing as possible. And it also looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of the changes that they've made to the actual course look fantastic. This is going to be the Waluigi Stadium that we know and love, and yet it's also going to be something pretty exciting in terms of just something new, I think. And then finally we have Singapore Speedway, which I have a very special place in my heart for Singapore Speedway. Singapore Speedway is my favourite tour course. It's probably actually one of my favourite courses in the series in general. Not like, you know, I mean, my absolute favourite is Cheeseland, and then there's Maple Treeway. It's not close to those, but it's more kind of, it's definitely like top tier for me. I really like Singapore Speedway. Just everything about it. It's visuals. You know, I think it just comes down to the fact that Singapore in general is a very stunning place in terms of just the architecture, and that really comes across in Singapore Speedway. And the fact that, you know, one of the really weird looking buildings, the white one, is something that you actually drive on. That is a highlight for me. The nighttime look to it, just everything about it. It's absolutely stunning, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun course, in my experience with it. And because of that, I am just so excited to actually get to see it, or to play it in Mario Kart 8. Yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts on each of the courses that we have in this wave. And obviously we've got Birdo coming as well, which is a pretty awesome addition. Really opens up the field, not just for new characters, frankly. Considering that, you know, Wave 2 they added the change to Coconut Mall with the cars. Wave 3 they added item customization. Wave 4 they're adding, you know, new characters. And we're going to get more new characters in the future. But Wave 5, who knows, they could start adding new vehicles. I'm not even going to say that new battle courses are off the table. Like, genuinely, we don't know what's coming next. Heck, even the idea of maybe another set of waves is possible. Why not? It's not likely, but it's possible. At this point, we don't know what's going to happen. And with that said, I'm going to try and predict what's going to happen in the next 2 waves. So here, I have my predictions of what courses I think we're going to get. Now, most of these we actually kind of already know. So we already know that we're going to be getting Vancouver Velocity and Los Angeles Laps, because they are the 2 remaining tour courses, and we're going to get all of the Tour City courses. Well, all of the tour courses, frankly. Vancouver Velocity and Los Angeles Laps, I think, are going to be in the next wave. I think, personally, that actually it is kind of weird. In Wave 4, all of the tour courses that we've got are actually the 2022 tour courses. Amsterdam, whatever it's called. I've forgotten its name. But Amsterdam, Bangkok, and Singapore were all introduced in 2022, which is I don't know, it's probably a coincidence, but it still feels a bit weird to me. But Vancouver and Los Angeles, they're coming. You know, we know that they're coming. And I think that they'll both be in Wave 5. I think it's kind of too soon for us to expect. Oh, well, no, actually, it's not too soon for us to expect a new course, but so I do actually think that we're going to get another tour course in Wave 5, which I've put down as Madrid. I believe it's been data mined. A Madrid course has been data mined. That's the only reason I've put that there. I mean, I personally like a Rome course because, you know, I have Italian family, and yeah, it would just be nice to have some Italian representation, I guess. But Madrid sounds like it's the one that they're going to go for. And I might as well cover the other tour courses because we know from the prefix leak that we're expecting 5 more tour courses. So that leaves, if we include Madrid, that leaves 2 more, which I think are going to be the Wave 6 tour courses. And I've put those down as Cairo and Rio de Janeiro, just because of the fact that I just cannot fathom the idea that Nintendo would decide to make a game called Mario Kart Tour, which has a central premise of Mario Kart courses from around the world, and then just completely miss out 2 of the continents. You know, and it's not as if South America and Africa don't have some amazing course potential. I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, Cairo is excellent for course potential, but it's far from the only one. And, you know, again, Rio de Janeiro, fantastic. How on earth is that not going to happen? I do believe that there are leaks that suggest that neither of these are going to happen, but I'm still going with this just because I don't know. I just think this just feels right to me. The other courses that we know are going to happen are Cooper Cape, which I've put in the Feather Cup. We know that we're going to get Piranha Plant Cove, the new tour course, which I've put in the Cherry Cup. Both of Cooper Cape and Piranha Plant Cove are in Wave 5. We also know that we know that we're getting Sunset Wilds. I've put that in the Spiny Shell Cup. And then we don't necessarily know that we're going to be getting Dino Jungle. However, I still personally believe that if we weren't getting Dino Jungle, they would have taken away the advertisements in Coconut Mall, which mentioned Dino Dino Jungle. I believe they would have. So I still think that it's not going to be DK Mountain. I think it's going to be Dino Dino Jungle. I'd personally prefer DK Mountain, but this, as a prediction, I think it's going to be Dino Dino. Now, of course, the other course that that was included in that, or that was in Coconut Mall as an advert, was Vanilla Lake. And a lot of people might be thinking that Vanilla Lake will be a final SNES course. But I don't think it is, because I think it's going to be an RMX course. Now, I don't know what the deal is with the fan base and RMX courses, because I have seen some very volatile reactions to the idea of RMX courses actually being included in the Booster Course Pass. And actually, I've seen very volatile reactions to the idea of RMX courses even being courses in general. I think that people tend to think that they're just the same as, like, the trick or reverse variants of courses, but RMX courses are actually completely different courses. They are not the same course. They use the same theme, the same course theme, but they firstly add different elements, such as, well, in Vanilla Lake it's got geysers, where obviously the original didn't, but that's not the only difference. They actually have different layouts as well. So RMX courses are individual courses of their own. They would be perfectly valid for the Booster Course Pass, and frankly, some of them are genuinely fantastic. RMX Rainbow Road 2 is a genuine favourite of mine. I really like that course, and I mean, Donut Plains, RMX Donut Plains it's been getting a lot of love since it debuted, and for good reason. It looks amazing. It's got unique gameplay. It's just, if you haven't played Tour and you haven't played the RMX courses, you are missing out. Not all of them are winners, but they are actually really unique and a really great addition. And it would be a shame if they were just completely lost to the sands of time and they weren't brought back. And because of the fact that the new Tour, because of the fact that the Prefix League has so many courses without prefixes, I just can't see all of those being Tour Nitros. So my idea has always been that actually maybe these are going to be Nitro courses. RMX courses. So maybe these courses that don't have prefixes are RMX courses, and that's why they don't have prefixes. Because how would you prefix that? Would you prefix it as SNES? Well, they're not SNES courses. They debuted in Tour. Would you prefix it as Tour? I mean, you could, but they haven't done that with Ninja Hideaway and Yoshi's Island and all of these other courses that, either debuted in Tour or were specifically made for Tour. So why would RMX Vanilla Lake have the Tour prefix? So it actually makes a lot of sense, I think, for these courses, these RMX courses, to be in the Booster Course Pass in those slots. So I think that that's how we're going to get Vanilla Lake. And I think that the other one is going to be RMX Bowser Castle. And I think the reason for this is because I just think that they're going to add Bowser Castles. I do, and there isn't really anywhere else. I mean, we know all of the courses for basically every game, apart from Super Mario Kart, which, I mean, they seem to be completely avoiding Bowser Castles from that for some reason, so I doubt we're going to get it from that. And Double Dash, which I'm going to get to. So the only other way we could get a Bowser Castle is RMX Bowser Castle. I just think this is going to happen. And speaking of Double Dash, well, let's talk about it. See, I have also included Bowser Castle, GCN Bowser Castle, and I've included it specifically as the penultimate course, which is for very obvious reasons. That's the best place for a Bowser Castle. And I think this is really likely, honestly. Just the idea of getting a penultimate course at the Bowser Castle, and then the final course we know is going to be Wii Rainbow Road. That is just perfect. Like, it's not certain, but that's got to happen, right? So I'm adding GCN Rainbow Road for that reason. I've already talked about Dino Jungle. My last GCN course, that's a bit more controversial, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Firstly, yes, I've put a bathroom there. The reason is because we know that there is a course in Tour that is apparently data mined to be resembling a bathroom. So I just added it in as one of the nitros, I guess. Why not? So let's talk about Luigi Circuit, GCN Luigi Circuit. I am very, very sure that this is coming, and I know that a lot of people are going to really disagree with that because a lot of people already have, but if you actually look at it, there's a lot that suggests it. So one of the things that suggests it is the fact that, well, I mean, we are getting circuit courses. A lot of people are saying, well, they're going for a lot of fan favourites. Yeah, they're adding fan favourites, but they also have completely neglected a lot of DS fan favourites like Luigi's Mansion and Airship Fortress, yeah, and instead added DS Mario Circuit. So it's obviously not the only concern that they have. So I think that there is a good chance that we're going to get a standard circuit course. But it might not be a standard circuit course. It could also be, it could be Mushroom Bridge, for example. But here's the thing. I don't think they're going to use a lot of these kind of city courses because, I mean, we have a lot of city courses in the Booster Course Pass. And it's very telling that the only course that we have that has cars in it currently in the Booster Course Pass is one that doesn't take place in a city. And I know Mushroom Bridge doesn't technically take place in a city either, but it's more city/town-like than Shroom Ridges, and by extension other city courses or other courses. So Mushroom Bridge is a possibility, but there's other things that could potentially, show us having a Luigi Circuit. For example, there isn't actually a Luigi course in the game. There's a Luigi Battle course, but not a Luigi Racing course, which is a bit weird considering it's the Luigi. And there's no other Luigi course that could potentially, be added, considering we know that it's not going to be a GBA course. We know what our final GBA course is. And we know it's not going to be a Wii course. We know what our final Wii courses are going to be. I mean, almost certainly. So it seems highly unlikely, really, that we're going to get any other Luigi course unless it's this one. Not that that's necessarily excellent evidence. However, a lot of people have been saying that Daisy Circuit is likely because, we haven't got a Daisy course. Well, Luigi is a lot bigger deal than Daisy, so that feels like a null and void argument. There's also the fact that we just always get, in every single wave, we always seem to get a course that isn't in Tour yet. And a lot of the courses that people think we're going to get, for example, Daisy Cruiser, are in Tour. It feels weird that they would, start doing that, start having all of those courses that aren't in Tour yet, just kind of, probably, almost certainly, to make sure that we have surprises at every turn, so that we aren't just getting the things that we expect. So, Snowland was a great surprise, so was Shroom Ridge. We didn't know that we were getting these courses. They want to surprise us. They want us to not be able to expect things. It would be weird to stop doing that for Wave 5 and Wave 6. And that's why, in my concept, the only two courses that aren't in Tour yet are the GCN Luigi Circuit and GCN Bowser Castle. Every other one is going to be in Tour. By the time it's in 8, almost certainly. So it just feels weird that they'd stop doing that now. So I think that we can expect that those last two that we can't be certain on I think we can expect them to be ones that aren't in Tour. And sure, they could be data mined, but I don't believe that Luigi Circuit has anything that would potentially lead it to being data mined in Tour. So I don't think that that's a particularly good argument against it. And the other thing, and it feels a bit of a weird one, but just the music. Waluigi Pinball reusing Wario Stadium's music feels so weird if it's the only one. I feel like if it was the only course that they were planning on doing that with, they probably would have just, remade the music. Because when it's just one course, that's not saving you much time at all. It's not saving you much time at all. So I feel like maybe they had been motivated to do that by the fact that actually there was a couple of courses that they knew were going to share music, and so they added them. They added the courses, or they didn't remake the Waluigi Pinball music because they knew that they were going to be not just remaking Waluigi Pinball, but also Luigi Circuit, which shares music with Yoshi Circuit. Because they were, remaking both of those, they decided, both of those can just share their music. It's not like, Luigi Circuit is going to be able to get much of a different remix. So, I don't know, I don't think that they would have done that if Waluigi Pinball was the only one, especially with it being such a fan favourite. I just cannot imagine that they would have done it if it was the only one. So, it just feels like there is actually quite a bit that points towards the idea specifically of Luigi Circuit. Now, it might not happen. But I don't think that people should count it out, because it's a possibility, and I mean, I don't want to brag, but I was right about DS Mario Circuit, and everyone was telling me that I was wrong. But I was right, so maybe you should listen to me. Who knows? But seriously, this might not happen. If it does, then I think it confirms a lot about my suspicions about how they're handling this game, because I think that courses like Luigi Circuit, they're adding because of the fact that they want to make a Mario Kart game after this, and they don't want to reuse courses that they've already used in the Booster Course Pass. That absolutely, they won't want to be reusing courses, because it would just be too soon, wouldn't it? The next Mario Kart game is probably going to come with the next console, most likely, or very soon after. They don't want to be. It would just be too soon. So I think that any courses they're adding now, they won't add to the next game, or I mean. I have views about how they could handle it, but they won't be remade in the next game. And I think that they want to leave some fan favourites. That's probably why Airship Fortress, a GBA Bowser Castle, a proper one. What else? Airship Fortress. I already said that. Luigi's Mansion, and potentially DK Mountain and Daisy Cruiser. These are, fan favourites that don't look like they're going to be in the Booster Course Pass, or they might not be in the Booster Course Pass, but maybe that's just because they want to use them in the next game. So adding a course like Luigi Circuit is a good way of being able to, make that, keep that true, keep that option open to them. And also, Luigi Circuit actually would work quite well, just in the fact that, when you're driving in Luigi Circuit, that middle section, you're actually driving against opposing traffic from the other players, which actually fits quite well with quite a few of the courses in the Booster Course Pass. Because, that's something that Paris Promenade, especially, and Peach Gardens are courses that do that. So there's just a lot I think could lead to Luigi Circuit. And I know it's not going to be popular, but that's what it is. So yeah. That was just my thoughts on, Wave 4 and potentially what's going to happen in Wave 5 and Wave 6. I am really excited for Wave 5. I absolutely love every time that we get, every time that we get new Mario Kart content. I absolutely love it. So, I'm really looking forward to it. I will say that I think that this is the only wave so far that really doesn't have a standout course. Everything's solid, but there's not, you know, your Maple Tree Way / 3DS Rainbow Road, but realistically, Maple Tree Way, Waluigi Pinball, you know, and there was a massive course in Wave 1. I can't remember what the real standout course was there. Oh, Coconut Ball. Obviously, it was Coconut Ball. You know, these courses are such massive fan favourites, so iconic. Wave 4 doesn't really have that, but it's still a really solid, good wave, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, that was my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day.